Hello, my name's Sue Lewis and I'm going to be running you through this lesson. So it's aimed at Year 11 students and it's helping you think about how you get ready for making those post-16 options. So just for everybody, whether you're young or old, there's really important things that you need to be able to learn in order to manage your careers. And these are the 6 things that are often mentioned. And in this lesson, we're going to look at 2 of those, and we're going to do something about see the big picture. So it'll be a chance for you to see how your post-16 options link with future jobs and careers. And also under manage careers, it'll be an opportunity for you to make a plan to develop an idea of the pathway you want to do in the future. So the way the lesson will break down, there'll be about 20 minutes of introduction, then an activity, and then we'll wrap up at the end. So just to get started, the great news is you've won the lottery and your prize is a holiday in one of these places. So have a think about which one you'd like to take up as your prize. Do you want to go to Barbados, Australia, South Africa, Belgium, or England? Make a choice in your head. You don't have to talk to anybody else about it at this point. But hold on a minute. I've just got a bit more information. So Barbados, you're going to be packing bananas. In Australia, you're going to be sheep shearing. South Africa, picking grapes. Belgium, testing chocolate. And in England, you've got free tickets to Glastonbury. So now that you've got a bit more information, who has changed their minds about where they want to go? If you have changed your minds, put your hand up now. So I can't see you all, but I imagine there have been some changes in where you wanted to go as your lottery prize. And this activity just makes the point that you need as much information as you can before you make a decision. And it's the exact same thing when you're making your career choices, even more important really, because it's about your future life. So what is a career? So a career is your individual journey through life, learning and work. So if you manage it like the yellow brick road, a sort of snake-in road, you're walking down it, and as you go along, you're going to be doing different things, different jobs, and that's what you're going to do to earn money, give you satisfaction. And there's loads of different choices about sectors that can offer you jobs: finance, art and design, working with animals, lots of different things. And as a society, we need people who can do all those things because that's how our society comes together. So for year 11, your big things in terms of careers will be choosing what you're going to do at the end of year 11, and then getting the best grades you can, your GCSEs, your BTECs, whatever else you might be doing. You want to do as well as you possibly can. So where are the future jobs going to be? Well, we know that these 4 sectors are going to grow a lot. There might be others too in the future, but medical, health, science and care is going to grow. IT and digital technology, engineering and construction, and a lot of things are going to be driven by this green agenda, more things to do with the environment. So all this gathering of information about where the jobs is called labour market information. And it's useful to keep your eye on that, because if you're in the know, you can get to a good position and be going into an area where there's going to be lots of jobs in the future. But it's confusing. How do you make all these career decisions? Well, let's just give you a few headlines through this very quick animated video that kind of explains how you can get started with making career decisions.
Imagine your life in 10 years' time. Are you being driven to work in your electric car? Eating meatless burgers for lunch with robots cleaning your home? Technology is changing jobs. In 10 years, there'll be lots of new jobs, while others will change or simply disappear. You're likely to be in work for 50 years and have at least 10 different jobs by the time you're 42. Seem like a long way off? A happy future starts with some of the decisions you take in the next few years. So to get ready for careers, what should you be doing now? Firstly, know yourself. You are unique. You have likes, dislikes, strengths, qualities, and things you value that are important to you. These things can help you identify a future career. You have skills too, from school, hobbies, work, or volunteering. Imagine you are learning something new, like photography or rock climbing. You will use a range of different skills. Many of these are transferable, skills that you can take from one job to another. Employers love these. The second thing you can do is do stuff. Trying out new stuff makes you feel good about yourself and builds transferable skills. For example, you may or may not pass your driving test first time. It doesn't matter. Learning new things develops transferable skills and increases your ability to bounce back and keep trying. That's called resilience. Skills can lead to part-time jobs, useful cash, and jobs in the future. You can also talk about these skills on job applications and in interviews. So you know what you like and you're good at. You're trying new things and building skills and experiences. What else can you do? The third thing you can do is to make sure you know all your options. Do you know what qualification and grades you need? Will the course or training help you on your journey? Which option would be best for you? And if your plan A looks watertight, always have a plan B and even a plan C just in case. The fourth thing is to make sure you use your supporters. Teachers, family, friends and coaches know you well. They'll help you identify your strengths, skills and interests and help you on your way. If you can, grab a chance to talk to a careers advisor. You'll get individual help with your plan. They're professionally trained and have loads of up-to-date information. They'll listen to you, inspire you and help you create a plan for the future. And there's CareerPilot too. A free website with all the careers information in one place, showing you all your options, including information on jobs, courses and lots more. Use the career tools to find out more about you and save all of this in one place to share with your supporters. So to get ready for careers, what should you be doing now? Know yourself. Do stuff and develop your skills. Make sure you know all your options. Use your supporters. Your future starts now. Get ready.
Hopefully that's given you some sort of ideas of the things you can do now. And what's also mentioned in that video is CareerPilot. And if you haven't come across CareerPilot before, it's kind of like a one-stop careers website that's got all the information and tools you need to make your good career decisions. We're going to be using that as part of this session. Let me just show you around quickly some of the key things. So to get there, it's careerpilot.org.uk. And in this light blue line, we've got some of our popular tools, information about jobs, how to get into them, how much you might earn, that sort of thing. Courses, apprenticeship vacancies, you can plot your qualifications, there's lots of video stories. And then we've got what we call our 3-stage careers process. So whenever you make a decision, you can follow this process as the video says. Start with yourself, explore your options, plan your next steps. Or you might want to dive straight in and have a look at a particular pathway that you've got in mind. So in terms of the video, it identifies 4 specific things. Know yourself, as I've just shown you, we've got a whole section called Start With You, and we're going to be doing some of these activities later. So on here you can see you can do a job quiz and find out what sectors might suit you. Start with a subject or a value and see where those particular things that are important to you might lead. You could do the skills profile so you know what skills you've got to offer, and you could plan your route on a qualification ladder. We'll talk a bit more about those a bit later. Then in terms of doing stuff, then obviously your priorities are GCSEs or the exams you're doing this year, but don't forget all the other things that you might be doing because these look really good on your CV. So try not to drop them, try to keep going because they look brilliant for employers. Know all your options. We're going to talk about this a lot more today, but later you'll have a chance to look at that part of the website and you could look at what your choices are at 16 or look through jobs. So we're going to focus on this section a little bit more. And then don't forget you have got lots of people who want to help you. Parents, teachers, careers advisors, CareerPilot. CareerPilot's there until you're 20. You can own your own account until then. So let's have a talk about the different routes that you can choose after your GCSEs. So this is what's called the qualification ladder. And you can see there's different levels, and you can see where GCSEs are, which is going from the bottom up. And there's 3 pathways. There's the academic pathway, and GCSEs are in that. And the next one up on that is A levels, then a degree. Then there's the vocational pathway, and this is where you do something linked to a job area, like health and social care or business. So you might be in the classroom learning about it and do a bit of work experience. Then there's work-based, where you're working most of the time in a company who's employed you and they're training you to do a particular job. So you might spend one day a week in college, but the rest of the time you're an employee of that company. And you can see they're called different things as they go up through the levels. Oops. So this is where you are now. You're thinking about your GCSEs. If you get a GCSEs, 5 GCSEs at grade 4 to 9, then you'll have a level 2 qualification, and you think about what you want to do next. And you can move from one pathway to another. So if you go vocational after GCSEs, you can go back into do the academic pathway and do a degree or a vocational degree. There's lots of options to get where you want to go. If you don't get GCSEs grade 4 to 9, then you will have a level 1, and then you can think about doing a vocational course or an apprenticeship. So there's lots of different options. So we're going to look in a bit more detail about how you choose your options. It's important for you to know what grades you'd like to get, because that can influence what pathways might be available to you, especially English and maths, because if you don't get a grade 4 or above, you have to keep doing that until you're 18. So it's good to try to get out of the way now if you can. Think about how you like to learn. Is it by studying something in depth, like a subject, or is it by doing something practically? Oh, and some people like to start with what they want to do in the future, like they've got a job in mind and they look at how you get to that job. But it's absolutely fine to do the other way around, where you think you have a subject you love and you just keep going with that subject, and then you think about a job later. Really, there's lots of different ways of getting to the same future job. So looking at the 3 pathways you can choose at the end of year 11, one is the vocational pathway. And this is where you'll do a course related to a job area, which are called general vocational courses. Health and social care is an example. But there's also things called tech levels, technical levels or T levels, which was specifically training you to do a job. So you do need to know whether that's the job you want to do. Now, a lot of the vocational courses some are available in schools, but a bigger choice is available at your local college, local further education college. You probably know where that is already, but you can check on our map. So they offer lots of vocational courses. They often offer A levels, but sometimes don't. So you do need to check that if you're thinking, I'll go to the college to do my A levels. It might not be possible, but they do always offer resets in maths and English for GCSE alongside whatever course you decide to do. Just be aware, if you want to do a level 3 vocational course, then often they do require 4 GCSEs at level 4 and above, but they have loads of starting levels as well, level 1, level 2. You can see from these examples, some are quite general, animal care and management, health and social care, but then some might be quite specific, like plumbing or this T-level digital design. So you do need to explore and see, is this a course I want? Is this what I want to be trained to do, to make sure that you're happy about that choice? I mentioned a little bit more about T-levels because they're fairly new and you might not have heard of them before. So these started a few years ago and lots of colleges are now offering them. They are training you to do a specific job, and the way it works is about 80% of the time you'll be in the college, and then about 20% of the time you'll be out on placement. And they are quite meaty because each T level is equivalent to 3 A levels. So you do need to know that there's quite a lot to invest in them if you decide to do them. And although they're related to a sector like building, services, engineering for construction, they're actually training you to do a specific job. So here's the job titles below there: installation electrician, maintenance electrician, plumbing and domestic heating technician. So that's what you're going to be trained to do. So you just need to know that that's what you want to do. Check them out at the local college. Then the other pathway, this is one where you'll actually be employed in a company and working towards an apprenticeship. because you're employed by the company, then you will get paid a small amount of money. This is the basic you will get paid, but some employers top that up a bit as well. You're going to learn by doing the job, so all the people around you will be doing that job already. You probably spend 1 day a week in college. You do need to find one, like finding a job. So an employer needs to say, I've got a vacancy, I want to train somebody up as an apprentice, and then you apply and hopefully you get the job. So you're going to be thinking about what level of apprenticeship you're going to apply for. It might be a level 2 or a level 3. Just be aware that even if you get your GCSEs at level 2, you might have to start an apprenticeship at level 2 rather than going straight up to level 3 to develop the technical knowledge of that job area. Just bear that in mind and look at the detail when you're looking at what the apprenticeship vacancy is offering. Okay, so this is what you're going to be thinking of. Am I going to do a level 2 or a level 3? And this is the academic pathway. You probably know most about this. A levels, most schools offer A levels, some colleges as well. You often do 4 subjects to start with and drop to 3, or maybe just start with 3. Every school is different. You do need to find out what your school offers and what grade they would expect you to get in order to be able to do A levels. It can be a chance to do a new subject because there's more subjects available at A level than there are at GCSEs, like law, criminology, etc. After an A level, you could go on to higher education, like a university. There is also higher education in the college environment, or you could go on to a higher apprenticeship. And don't forget, you can also go on to higher education from a vocational qualification as well. So I've run through the different pathways. We've talked a little bit about each. You might know stuff already, but what we want to do now is get you going on a practical task where you can explore the things that are particularly interested to you. So number one, you're going to get registered on CareerPilot if you haven't before, or you can just sign in. Then you can do whatever activities you want from Start With You. If you've done any before, you can redo them because everything changes. If you did it in year 9, it might be quite different now. Then you're going to go to My Qualifications and you're going to, on the ladder, indicate what you think you're going to get for your GCSEs, and you can plot what you're thinking of doing in the future. And then you're going to look at explore your options. You could look at routes at 16 or look at jobs. So it's just an opportunity for you to explore the things that will be particularly useful to you. There'll be about 25 minutes to do that, and you're going to be starting off by going to careerpilot.org.uk. But before you get started, I just want to show you how some of this works so you know what to do. So first of all, you need to register on CareerPilot if you've never done that before. And if you're going to do that, you click register. Now, if you have done that before, just sign in. Okay, so you would click on sign in. If you've forgotten your password, you can do forgotten password, but you do need to put in the email you used when you set up your CareerPilot account. So it might be a school email or your personal email. Okay, so don't set up another account if you've already got one. Why are you signing in? What's the point of all that? Is because you also then get access to all the career tools. So this is where you can save all the things you might do through quizzes, but also any of the other things you're really into. That will create your personal careers report as well. Okay, so just a reminder, if you've registered before, just sign in. The other thing for you to know is that to get things into your career tools, you have to tag them. So in the top right-hand corner, just by every page, is the option to add. So if you see a plus sign, then I'm adding this job, web content editor, and then that'll appear in my job sectors and also in my main report. And if later I decide that's not for me, I can get rid of it. But this will be saved as your careers report. Okay, I've mentioned too about doing the qualification ladder. So if you go to My Qualifications, then you can actually tag what you're interested, what you think you're going to get from your GCSEs and what you're interested in doing after GCSEs. And once you've done that, you can go to My Qualifications and add the subjects you're doing and your predicted grades. So it's kind of useful to have that in one place. because then as a reminder to you, but also it helps you think about, if a job says you need a particular thing, it's an opportunity to think, well, what have I got to contribute? And you have got lots of time to get even better results if you put the work in. Okay, so just a reminder again, you're going to register or sign in, do some activities in Start With You, which is on the home page, add your qualifications to My Qualifications, explore your options, do whatever seems useful to you. And you're going to have about 25 minutes to do that. So if you're the teacher now, you can pause this video and just be prepared to come back for about five to 10 minutes at the end to wrap up this session. Great. So hopefully you had a chance to do all those activities and you feel like you know a bit more about the things you're interested in and where they might lead, and also about your post-16 pathways. So we looked earlier at the different routes, academic, vocational, work-based, and we saw in vocational there was like a general pathway and then the T-level pathway. You might already have some ideas about which one of those you want to do. So if you're the teacher now, you could maybe get a show of hands to see who's interested in that academic pathway, who's interested in the vocational, and who's interested in work-based. Now, the final thing you can do today in CareerPilot, we also have the third stage of our career process is plan your next steps. So you could look at your reports that you've been building by tagging the things you're interested in, your skills profile if you've done that. But what we'd like you to do now is just to add one thing you're going to do to take forward your career. It doesn't have to be just one thing, could be three things, but put down some specific things you're going to do. It might be you're going to explore a bit more on CareerPilot to do with apprenticeships. It might be you're going to go to an open day. It could be anything that you think you need to do now to take your choices forward. And that's probably going to take about 5 minutes. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the session. So just to remind you that anything that you've been saving can be viewed in your reports. There's two ways to do it, through a dashboard or also through the full report. And that's where you see everything that you've been putting together. So you've got all your things in one place. That report moves up with you every year and you own your CareerPilot account until you're 20. So it's always there to help you. So we're at the end now. Just to remind you of the 6 things that everybody needs to do to manage their careers. We've been looking at 2 things today specifically. Hopefully you feel like you have got a bit more idea about the big picture, how your choices fit with your future careers and future jobs. And in terms of managing careers, hopefully you've started to put a plan together about the pathways you might be interested in the future. So hopefully you can just tick those 2 off now. So thank you so much for listening, and the next session we'll look at in more detail at some of these different pathway options. But for now, well done. Thank you.